Hallå allihopa och stort välkomna till kompetitiv EDH TV. Hela den här episoden kommer nu vara i min röst på svenska för att det var det Trårik ville ha. Med oss idag så har vi Joel med hans lille plutt. Unge.
Hello guys, long time. Hallå pojkar, länge sedan.
Yes, and by the way, Pontus är också en sån här svensk. Vill du lägga en kommentar?
Nej, det är bra, tack.
Det är för sent. Nu går vi över till att titta på lite decks. Vad vi spelar för någonting. Retorik, har du någonting du vill tillägga?
Tack. The joys of playing with the Swedes. I love it. Absolutely. So, speaking of loving things, favorite stuff, I am playing my favorite deck. Yes, it's jank, it's casual. I don't know. It's something. But you know what? I was really struck by what Wounded Satellite said in a recent game that we played with him, which was play the decks you know well. And I like to do that pretty often, I guess, on the channel, at least every few weeks, play the same thing. And this is one I play offline as well. So it's just Alena and Thrasios. Lots of ways to make infinite mana and either burn everybody out or use Walking Ballista and waste everyone that way.
Alright, don't worry. I'm not gonna continue in Swedish. It was only for that little short fun intro as a joke. However, so Sisay has just recently won a Mox Masters, and as Sisay is my favorite commander, I decided to play Unrival's deck list. So he's playing a bunch of walkers, he's playing a bunch of typical Sisay legendary creatures, and the usual stuff, Agathosov's Cauldron and Cultists of the Absolute together with Dehada, and the entire Oath of the Fairy together with Alena. There it is, and Nicobolas the Dragon God.
Hello guys, sadly my son had to go to sleep now, but at least you saw what I've been up to the latest couple of months. But this time I'm back and I'm playing Tivit with the card called Time Sieve, because Tivit is creating 5 artifacts. You can sacrifice them and take an extra turn and attack with Tivit again, and repeating do so until our opponents are beaten to death.
Today I'm bringing a very fringe pairing that not many people have seen ever before. Tumna and Kram, which is kind of interesting. You use like some good enchantments like Unworld Breach and Runic Study and Mystic Remora. So it's kind of like an Enchantress theme where you just make a bunch of value and then win the game with a bunch of weird cards that I've never seen before, like Thrasios Oracle and stuff.
So this for 7, the color is a little... I got to think about this for a minute. Thinking out loud, we could get Windswept Heath to Stomping Ground, which then lets us get potentially Alena out on turn 2. So if I had one more piece, I might be able to get her out on turn 1, which would be really, really great. But I don't have like much interaction or anything of that sort. So I'm like really worried about keeping this just because, I don't know. I mean, Great Oak Guardian, it's so tempting because I could play something on, I could get Phyrexian Metamorph on turn 1, but like I'm on the play. It's nice to kind of build a state. I need to do that. It needs to be a little bit faster. But I don't know. It doesn't really have... by turn 3, I could start doing some stuff, put some stuff online. That does give me a slight advantage. These are all like really fast decks, so I'm a bit worried about it. I'm going to go ahead and fetch. Second summon is decent. I mean, we could fetch it with Verdant Catacombs, something to add 3 mana. We can get Bop out as well. You know, if we got Orcus Lumberjack and then Bop out, that might be okay. But that's still not fast enough. I mean... could get Thrasios out on turn 2. We're looking for some extra pieces. I think we need to try to get faster. I mean, that first hand was interesting, but I think it was worth throwing out. We do have 2 pieces of interaction. We could also use Scale Up. But thinking that would probably be like more of a turn 3 getting it online. And we're way off from getting Alena out. So let's go into the tank a little further. All right, so we kind of have the opposite problem with this one, but I think it's still salvageable because we can get things online like Thrasios on turn 1. We have Soul Ring. We have enough pieces to get Alena a little bit later, but we could go for the value game by activating Thrasios a few times. Urza Saga is also really nice because we could use that to get out Phyrexian Bubba Walker, I forget what it's called, but whatever. Dreadnought, yeah, that would allow us to get mana. So we may want to try to get Alena out before that. It's not that really great of a hand, but I can go ahead and pitch one of these and still be pretty comfortable. Take it away.
Our first 7 only has 1 land and nothing else, so we can't really accelerate from this. Like, we could get seriously stuck, so we have to mulligan. This is a hand that is honestly actually a little bit too slow, But it's not terrible slow either. So we have a Noble Hierarch, we have a Vamp Tutor, and we have a bunch of lands. We also have Cradle, and I'm really happy about Cradle. I don't really want to mull away a Cradle. We also have a Vamp Tutor that could develop into, or will develop into, either Heuristic Study turn 2 or a Dockside Extortionist. And it's the Vamp Tutor that we're basically keeping this hand. No, wait, sorry, we can't get Heuristic Study turn 2 because it's a Vamp Tutor. So it's going to be something like a turn 3 Heuristic Study. But I think honestly that the Vamp Tutor is going to be a Dockside Extortionist, and I'd rather use it to get a Dockside Extortionist here. We also have Fierce Guardianship, so if we turn to Sisay, we're sitting kind of safe, and then we can Vamp Tutor on turn 3 for a Dockside. So yeah, this hand is good. We have Silence, that's gonna be great once we're going for that. So if our opponents are overproducing artifacts, then this is an amazing hand. If they don't, then we can fall back into Heuristic Study with the Vamp Tutor. Might be a little bit too slow, so we might have to Vamp Tutor for something different, but I kinda like this hand. It's not the fastest hand, but it has some really key cards.
Alright, let's take a look at our starting hand. Okay, so what do we have here? We could actually turn one Praetor's Grasp for like a mana crypt, or maybe even steal one's Jubilant Lotus. That would actually be kinda okay. I feel I want a little bit more speed. If we would have like more ramp into this, then maybe yes. But have just a Dark Ritual as the only ramp source that only lasts for one turn, and make it like a turn 1 Praetor's Grasp. I think we actually can find something much better and some more value cards. So I'm actually considering mulligan this. Alright, let's see what we have here. We do have a Arcane Signet, which is great. We have a Mox Opal, but sadly we don't have any more artifact, or at least not for now. Urza Saga could get us one later in the game. I see this hand as also an option for like a turn 3 Tivit. Sadly we did get Teferi out in our starting hand again, which I don't really like. Yeah, I'm actually gonna try this.
Let's draw starting 7. So yeah, this hand is trash. Just lands in the calling route. That doesn't get us anywhere. Technically it is fast mana because we have Gemstone, but yeah, no, this is never key. Let's go to second 7. So to start off, this hand is amazing. But it's very annoying. It's so close to amazing greatness, but it's not quite there. I think we always keep this. It's a turn 2 Heuristic or Nos, depending on the board state. It's also turn 2 Heuristic Study, just draw for a turn, and then Nos with the extra grip and the Heuristic to back up to draw off the counter spells. That as a baseline is amazing. We're very close to this hand being mega good. And we do have a couple of top decks that just win us the game. But yeah, this hand is amazing. If we're lucky, we might draw like a Soul Ring and get the turn 1 Heuristic. That would be amazing. Even like any fast... No. Almost any fast mana, like 0 mana rock, would get us there and would be very nice. But yeah, turn 2 Heuristic. Going last is a bit risky, but this isn't the fastest pod. So having the grind potential while also having the explosiveness in hand is pretty good. Yeah, sweet hand. Yes.
Okay, I'll kick us off. Let's draw a card for turn. And return is Urza Saga. Tap this for a Soul Ring. Soul Ring resolves. Yay! We'll play Lotus Petal and pass the turn.
I'm gonna draw a card for turn. I'm gonna go with a Mana Confluence into a Noble Hierarch, and then I pass the turn.
Draw a card. Joining Rhetoric with an Urza Saga myself, adding a counter to it. Also gonna play this Mox Opal and passing my turn.
Go to my turn. Land for turn will be a Ancient 2. I'll tap it, losing 2 life, having 1 floating, to cast a Mana Vault. I will immediately tap the Mana Vault to cast a Talisman of Progress. I'll tap the Talisman of Progress for a blue, losing life, using the 2 floating to cast a Heuristic Study.
I will Force of Will it, exiling this fairy mastermind.
Oh no. Yeah, it's Force of Willed. I try and pass.
I will untap and draw a card. Land for turn will be a Volcanic Island. I'm going to tap these. That's 4. Crack this. Cast Alena. And no other effects. I got 4 cards in hand. Pass.
I'm gonna untap and draw a card. Gaia's Cradle. Let's land drop 1, 2, and 3 total. For the big boss lady, Captain Sisay, Weatherlight Captain, and here I pass.
Draw a card. Urza Saga gains a counter, no opposition agent, so we're gonna try to fetch for Underground Sea. Put it into the battlefield. After that, I will tap 2 mana to cast an Arcane Signet. And with that, I will pass my turn.
Go to my turn and lose life in my draw step. And then will be as sad as to just pass the turn.
Take my turn. We have an Ursaga trigger, so I will tap this. It'll go up to 3 counters. I will tap it to make a colorless mana and then sacrifice it, fetching up Phyrexian Dreadnought.
Hey, that's actually pretty good. Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's like a land that tutors for a combo piece. Kinda cool.
All right, with Phyrexian Dreadnought on the battlefield with the ETB on the stack, I will tap Alena to make 12 red. Phyrexian Dreadnought's ability, as you can see on the screen, says you have to sacrifice it unless you have creatures total power of 12 or more. So this will be sacrificed, and we have 12 red in the pool plus 1 colorless. Land return will be Wooded Foothills. I will tap it, paying a life to fetch up a land. And that land is a tropical island. We will tap these 2 for Thrasios. All right, folks, so you see what I have in my hand. Umbral Mantle. Now, if I play this, I'm not going to be able to make that mana from Phyrexian Dreadnought because it was cast and then sacrificed. I could maybe do some sort of tapping, untapping stuff, but it wouldn't really get me anywhere. So the best bet right now is to just activate Thrasios a few times and see if we can get into something else that would enter the battlefield, like Great Oak Guardian, but we are also relying on getting some mana and things of that sort. So we're not out of it yet. I just wish I could end the game right now if we could do it. Sometimes Umbral Mantle comes after like a big creature comes into play, like Great Oak Guardian or something like that, but I still think picking Phyrexian Dreadnought at that point and having it come in was enormously helpful at this point. I will first put a Thrasios activation onto the stack. We will bottom this card and then reveal. So it's a Swan Song, and we're gonna roll the die again, or the activations again, because we need to use the mana. So I will go down to 5 red and activate Thrasios once again. Second activation, I will reveal Noxious Revival. For now, what I'm going to do is activate Thrasios one more time, going down to 1, and I will reveal this as well, Mindbreak Trap. Keep that. And got a full grip, 7 cards in hand, I'll pass, letting that 1 red fizzle.
I'm going to untap, but before I draw a card, I'm gonna cast Vamped Tutor. But I'm gonna put this card on top of my library. Drawing a card, putting this Misty Rainforest into play, sacrificing it, finding an Underground Sea, and because Cradle taps for 2, I'm gonna cast a Smothering Tide. You need to pay your taxes, guys. I'm the Swedish tax collector. I'm going to combat smacking Jewel Tivit for free because of Exalted Noble Hierarch.
Obviously, no blocks.
And then I pass the turn.
Draw a card. You can have a trash. And then we have a trigger with Ursa Saga, and I will respond to the trigger by tapping it for 1 colorless mana, and then adding a counter to it and start searching. Finding this Sol Ring. Playing Command Tower. With the floating mana, I'm tapping Sol Ring, Underground Sea, Command Tower, Arcane Signet to cast my commander Tivit. I'm gonna vote for 2 treasures.
3 cards in hand, I'll actually give you a treasure.
You get a clue.
You also gain a clue from me because I want you to draw cards so I can gain treasures.
Alright, then I'm gonna cast this Lotus Petal. So gonna pass the turn.
Go to my turn, lose a life. That's not the card I can cast. I will pass turn. Since I have no action, I can take 2 damage to pay for the Smothering Tide.
At the end of your turn, Pontus, I will pay 2 life to cast Noxious Survival targeting Phyrexian Dreadnought. And Phyrexian Dreadnought goes to the top of my library. Move to my turn. Drew the card you all knew was there.
I gain a treasure! Yay!
Land return will be Steam Vents. I will pay 2 life. Tap Sol Ring and Steam Vents for Umbral Mantle. Umbral Mantle resolves. I will move to equipped Umbral Mantle to Alena. The suspense is killing me. I'm going to tap Volcanic Island, cast Phyrexian Dreadnought.
I pass.
I think I will be the control player and respond to this. So I will tap the Smoke's Opal. I will crack 2 treasures and cast or channel an Optavara, targeting Alena.
Boo. Sure, that resolves. And Dreadnought will do nothing special because Alena is not here. So that will go immediately to the graveyard. I have been thwarted. I will pass.
Draw a card. I'm gonna start off with a Mana Confluence casting Silence. Now I do know that you have a Swan Song here.
You knowing I have a Swan Song and still casting it seems interesting. So I will cast this anyways.
Haha, I only wanted a bird actually, so my guy's Cradle taps more. Now, I'm just kidding. I am going to cast a Fierce Guardianship on that Swan Song. Even though I kind of want the bird to increase my guy's Cradle count.
I will respond, taking a damage, casting a Flusterstorm. All copies will target the Silence instead of the Fierce because I don't want to give you the Swan with the Cradle in play.
not going to pay for that. Very sad. Bye-bye. So, I actually do know that Rhetoric has a mind break trap in his hand, because that was something he revealed with his Thrasios. And the big reason why I needed this silence to resolve is because I plan to cast Demonic Tutor in my hand to find Dockside, as I have Emil already in my hand. However, I don't have any more ways to interact with a mind break trap, so me starting to cast a third spell here, I've already cast Silence and then Fierce Guardianship, so the third now that I cast, mind break trap is alive. So I needed Silence to resolve before I cast my third spell. Ultimately, this will mean that I'm just destroying, more or less, any spell I cast to remove his Mind Break Trap. Removing Mind Break Trap might be good, because it's removing interaction that he has for his turn. However, sacrificing like a Demonic Tutor here feels kinda bad for that. However, I think we have better plays that we can do. One of them being activating Sisay here. And we already have a bunch of mana from our Smothering Tithe, so we could gain some more. We could also cast Sakashima the Imposter and make another Tivit, but there's a chance that that will get Mind Break trapped. I have a feeling him Mind Break trapping my Tivit is something or my Sakashima that will become a Tivit, is something he's going to do. So now I'm kind of evaluating Rhetoric's interaction potential here, what he's going to do, and I'm guessing he's going to cast Mind Break Trap on my Sakashima. If I didn't know that there would be a Mind Break Trap right here, I would have cast Demonic Tutor and find Dockside. But because I do know that there's a Mind Break Trap, and I do think he's gonna use it on my Sakashima, and 100% use it on my Demonic Tutor, I'm going to attack at Rhetoric. Sisay is a 3/3 because of Exalted.
No blocks, take 3.
Actually, you might take more, because I'm activating the boss. I'm going to find a Kinnan with my Sisay activation, and then I pass.
Taking my turn. I'm gonna pay for Smothering Tide, and after that I would like to proceed to combat. There was one player who hit me before, so I will hit him back. Mons takes Tivit.
I take 6.
Yep, then we will start voting, and I vote for 2 treasure.
I still think we should do treasures with how few cards you have in hand.
I agree, Pontus. You get a treasure.
I disagree. I want treasures. I want you to draw cards. You're getting a clue.
Thank you very much. All right, and with that, I would like to tap 2 mana to crack a clue and draw a card. And on that, we have a trigger. I think I can pay for that. I'm gonna crack 1 treasure to cast a fish. Then I pass my turn.
Losing a life to Mana Vaults. And I will not pay for Smothering Tide, but still pass turn.
Untap upkeep, draw a card.
Pay your taxes.
So I am worried, fellas. Should I pay for this Smothering Tithe? Like,
Pay
what?
your taxes.
I mean,
Or I can crack my 2 clues and try to draw something, but I'm not sure what I can find. Maybe some removal spell. But then he's gonna gain more treasures.
It's illegal to draw cards.
I will pay for Smothering Tithe.
You have paid your taxes. I'm proud of you. Skatteverket slår till igen.
Cast Gamble, not paying for fish.
So I drew a card. I think I'm gonna crack 3 treasure and cast an opposition agent.
You're right, Pontus. It does feel bad, but it resolves.
All right, so I take this Red Elemental Blast from Rhetoric.
And adding insult to injury, thank you, Yule. I will randomly discard a card. It's my commander. So that sucks. Right then, so I am putting Alena with the replacement effect into the command zone, but we will tap these 2, and I'm going to cast Ledger Shredder. Sweet, tapped out, pass a turn.
In your end step, Rhetoric, I wanna cast your Red Elemental Blast targeting Kina.
Mean. It happens. Kinnan is dead.
There is a Ledger Shredder trigger on the stack, so draw a card. I will not pay for Smothering Tide because I can't, and then I'll discard a card. Bop.
I will take my Kinnan-less turn and draw a card. I'm going to cast a Sakashima the Imposter. It's going to enter as a Tivit. Now let's vote. I'm going to take a treasure and a clue myself, one of each.
You get a treasure.
You can have a treasure for me as well.
Clue.
So I gain 3 treasures and 2 clues total. Then we are casting Emil the Blessed by sacrificing 4 treasures. I currently have 2 treasures.
Ledger Shredder trigger, draw a card, and I still can't pay for Smothering Tide with the sad. I will discard this breeding pool.
That means I gain 3 magical treasures, which is the perfect count for Emil. Tivit Emil sounds fun. Now time to punches. You see, Sisay is currently a very buffed creature. From Tivit, she has grown. I don't need my Sisay, so Sisay Exalted comes at you. You will. Then I pass.
Do I want to pay for fish? I don't think I want to, so fish dies. Taking my turn, draw a card. So I will actually pay for his Smothering Tide. In my main phase, I will tap 1, 2, 3 mana to try to cast Teferi.
So, my friends, and now we are gonna be the best friends in the entire world, guys. You see, with your help, I have infinite mana and infinite card draw, but only if you allow it. Now, he is not gonna allow it, obviously, but if I currently activate Emil and flicker Tivit, or my Sakashima that comes into play as a new Tivit, basically, if both of you guys give me 1 treasure each, I can have infinite mana. Now, I don't need infinite mana. I just need enough mana to crack a few clues to search out a counterspell. Like a pact of, or not search, but use crack clues to eventually draw into a counterspell. And I can counterspell this, and whatever comes next, I can literally stop anything he does, kinda.
I think that sounds like a really bad plan. Then you win on your
The
turn.
thing is that you win on your turn right now, if this theoretically happens.
Each time you do this, like we would stop as soon as you found a counter spell, correct?
Yes, or let's
Like, you would
let's
use the
put it like
mana
this. I don't
anyways.
need to even go infinite. We can just say, okay, we would do this enough until you draw a card. I can even draw the card onto the battlefield so you see what I draw. So if I draw a counterspell, even you can even see it and I stop. So we don't,
Pontus.
and you can even stop the infinite by simply just saying, okay, we give you clue now because you have enough treasures to start cracking these clues. So you can stop it whenever you want to. We need to make 5 treasures, then I crack a clue and I have 3 treasures again.
Pontus, say something. I'm nervous. Does it make sense, or is it?
As long as you reveal each card you draw, I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay, go for it.
So I'm cracking all my treasures, activating Emil, flickering Tivit. This is gonna generate exactly 4 treasures because I'm gaining a clue from the Tivit player. And I do this once again until I have 5. Then I crack 2 clues and I draw a card, which is a Lotus Petal. We'll do it again. There's a Force. Okay, so I don't have a blue card in my hand. Yeah, exactly. You can just allow me to crack flicker Tivit until I have exactly 8 treasures. All right, so I have been allowed to repeat Emil until I climb up to 8 treasures. Now with 8 treasures, I can sacrifice down to 3 treasures. It's really important that I always stay at 3 treasures in this case, so I can keep on flickering Tivit to dig more. But from here, I'm paying 5 mana to hard cast Force of Will targeting the Teferi Time Reveler.
Yes, sadly no response to Teferi, so he is countered. Alright, so that was a little bit disturbing that they team up against me, but it happens. So with these flicker effects, I feel like I cannot win anymore even if I try to win. I think it's better to let them stop team up against me and just go slow, maybe try to win next turn. They're gonna give him treasures and Mon's gonna draw more cards. So if we stop the teammate thing, then maybe he can stop drawing so much cards and maybe we can find a window later to actually win. Since Pontus doesn't have any flyers, I'm sadly gonna have to attack Pontus with Tivit.
No blocks, take 5 or 6 even.
And now let's have the voting. I'm gonna vote for 2 treasure.
You can have a treasure still.
Treasure.
Seems like we're all giving him treasures. I'm actually gonna join that to avoid card draw here because card draw could be huge for him, so treasure as well. It's 5 treasures.
5 treasure again, and then I will pass my turn.
Go to my turn. Land for turn will be an Ottavara. I'm not playing for Smothering Tide. Mons can have a treasure. I love this game. I'll take 2 damage, exiling a Simian Spirit Guide to cast a Crom. Crom resolves. I'd like a blocker, so I'll pass the turn.
Take my turn. Draw. To start, I'll play a very late game Ponder. And I'm giving you yet another treasure. Draw this card, and then I will pass turn. I've got 4 mana.
I will go to my turn and untap and draw a card. Volcanic Island as a land drop. I guess we're cracking some clues, so we're tapping Cradle for 1, 2, 3, 4. And cracking 1 clue, drawing a card. Cracking another clue, drawing a card. 1, 2 mana, crack a clue, draw a card. Tap 1 more, crack a clue, draw a card. What? We need to punch at someone very precious to me. Joel, I'm swinging all out at you with Sisay, Emil, and Tivit.
I'm not an admiral, so I can take 15.
But now you're down to 14, which means that soon you're out. And then your Oppo is gone. I'm gonna cast this Lotus Petal, and then I'm gonna pass the turn.
Taking my turn. I draw a card. I'm gonna pay for that. Play this Grubland. I will tap 2, crack a clue, draw a card. And with that, we have a Smothering Tide trigger. You can have a treasure. I'm gonna tap 2 and cast this Blind Obedience. So one good part is that your Tivit now is gonna enter tap when you flicker him. So that means you're open, at least. I wanna crack this treasure to draw another card with a clue. I will actually pay for Smothering Tide. And after that, I will pass the turn.
Go to my turn and lose a life in my upkeep. And we still want a blocker, so we'll pass turn.
At the end of your turn, I will tap Soul Ring and these 2 lands to activate Thrasios. We will put this on the bottom, and this island will come in tapped, and then I'll move to my turn. I got nothing really. Pass.
Going to my turn, untap and draw a card. I'm gonna put a Tundra land drop into play, and then we have a player to kill. Everything but Emil at Joel.
I consider to block the Tivit because if he wants to vote, he must at least pay for it. So blocking the Tivit.
I'm going to respond to blockers by flickering Tivit and creating a voting. So I will vote for 2 more treasures.
Yeah, maybe considering only voting treasures now because then he doesn't have any clues.
Treasure for me as well.
Trej, go for it.
And then you take Sisay 5 damage to the face. Crack a clue here and draw a card. And I have 7 cards now, so here I pass the turn.
All right, taking my turn, draw a card. You can have a tap treasure. I would like to attack with Tivit. Sadly, I have to punch you, Rhetoric.
Oh, sweet. I will take the damage.
1 clue and 1 treasure.
I'll give you a treasure.
Treasure.
You got a treasure.
And after that, I would like to pass my turn.
Not paying for mana vault, take damage, draw for turn. We found a playable card. 3 damage to cast a Svin's Reclamation targeting my Rustic Study.
Welcome back into the game, Pontus. It's turn 7. Where have you been?
I just stayed here on my turn 2 with Rustic Study in play. I'll pass turn.
End of your turn, I will activate Thrasios. And we'll bottom that. It's a Hyrax Tower Scout. And I'm paying for Smothering Tide.
Tap 7 mana and overload a Cyclonic Rift, paying for the Ristic Study.
I am going to sacrifice 1 treasure and hardcast a Mindbreak Trap on the Psych Rift Overloaded. I'm not paying for Ristic, Pontus. You can draw a card. Can I have a treasure, Pontus?
I cannot pay for Smothering Tide.
Yeah, no response.
Because I know that if we do not slow your board down, Mons, you will hit, and then you'll have the field wide open because of no opposition agent and so forth. So I'm going to do the thing. I'll pay a life and cast Force of Will on your Mindbreak Trap. Not paying for Ristic.
I will draw and not pay for Smothering Tide.
I guess I should start cracking some treasures now. So cracking 1, drawing a card. Oh, well, that does it. So packed. I'm going to let Legislature happen. I'm not paying for Ristic Study. Have your cards. Give me treasures.
Draw and discard. So I will discard, yikes, Staff of Domination.
I have to draw for Crown, and then I will choose to draw for Rustic Study as well.
It resolves.
Go to my turn. Smothering Type trigger, not paying. Tap Steam Vents and Soul Ring. Cast a Jessica's Will, targeting Pontus. And draw a card, Pontus, because Jessica's Will.
I will choose to draw. I have only 1 way into this game, and it's drawing cards. So I will draw. I will not pay for Smothering Tide, and the Jessica's Will be larger.
Jessica's Will resolves, and because I have my commander out, I will choose both modes. So making 11 mana, and then exiling the top 3. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Mana Vault, Otawara, and Mental Misstep. First, I'll spend 1 of these manas and cast Mana Vault. Not paying for Ristic. Mana Vault resolves. I will play Otawara because I cannot discard it or channel it from exile. I am going to spend the 10, sinking 5 into. You know what? Let's just go nuts. Let's put even more into it. 14. Yep. We'll just do 14 into it, and we'll cast a Walking Ballista for making it a 7/7.
Crazy Gatling gun.
All right, with all the triggers, Crom, Ristic Study, Ledger Shutter, I'm going to allow you to draw a card from Crom, and then I'm going to pay for Ristic. Then I will activate, or I will do the Ledger Shutter trigger. I will discard Ragavan, and I can't pay for your Smothering Tithe. So the biggest threat is Emil. I am immediately going to take 4 counters off of Walking Ballista to Gatling Gun the horse.
Before this, I'm actually going to spend 3 treasures to flicker my Tivit as a last resort. And let's actually sacrifice this Lotus Petal as well to make it enter with a counter from the Emil's ability. So we get to vote, and I will vote for 2 clues. And then my 3 opponents gives me 3 treasures. And then Emil is dead.
I'll pass turn.
So we will untap first. And now we get to untap our 19 tapped treasures. We have packed trigger, so tapping this one, and that one. Paying for pact. Then draw a card for turn. Yeah, let's continue with battle. Beat down Yule. Attack Yule with everything I have except the Noble Hierarch staying back. Sisay is currently a 5/5.
Before declare blockers, I'm gonna crack 2 treasures and cast on Orcish Bowmaster, paying for the heuristic study.
Before Bowmaster actually enters the battlefield, I'm gonna take my time now to crack clue, draw a card. I will crack treasure and 1 treasure there, crack a clue, draw a card, more tutors, crack 2 treasures, crack a clue, draw a card, crack 2 more treasures, crack the last clue, draw a card. Oh, that's fun, but not winning. So yeah, here I have no more response versus the Orcish of Bowmaster.
It will enter the battlefield. Guess we shoot Mons Manadork.
Manadork is dead.
So I will amass 1 orc. Then I would like to declare blocker. I would like to block with this army on your Sisay.
Sisay is blocked, and Tivit punches through for 7. Voting! I vote for 2 clues. I need to draw cards. They all give me treasures, so I get 3 tapped treasures and 2 trapped clues. I'm gonna play this Mount Doom, which is very close at killing someone actually. I'm sacrificing 3 treasures to cast a heuristic study, not paying for heuristic study. Gaining a treasure as Pontus draws a card.
We're going to respond to heuristic and cast this Enlightened Tutor. Now you can't have an Oppo agent at least 3 triggers on the stack when I'm casting Enlightened Tutor. There is a heuristic, there is a Chrome, and there is a Ledge Shredder. First start off with a Ledge Shredder.
Drew the card. Will discard this Hyrex Tower Scout.
With the Ledge Shredder card draw, I would like to do 1 damage on Sisay.
I draw for Chrome.
I would like to shoot Sisay with Orcish Bowmaster.
I will draw. Still not pay for Falling Tide, and you have a trigger.
Shoot Sisay. I would like to find this imposter mech.
Heuristic study resolves. Here I'm going to pass the turn.
Right, before damage wears off and such, I will take 1 from Walking Ballista and shoot Sisay.
Sisay is dead. I will discard Enlightened Tutor and a land. I have 7 cards in hand.
Untap and drawing a card. Do I care about the treasure? Probably not, since there is a lot of card draw, so I will not pay for Smothering Tide. Casting this imposter mech, I also would like to extort, because I would like to have a little bit more life.
So Redrick, he's going to go up to 5 life with this. And start becoming annoying, as he already is. Now, my CC is gone, so there's no tutoring in instant speed from my part.
But you have still 11 treasures, so you can win on your turn. I cannot win on my turn.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, Redrick, if you want to, we can kill him now together, because you can do damage with Walking Ballista, and I can do Mount Doom on him. It's up to you.
Yeah, but then my opposition agent disappear, and he can play Sisay on his turn, and from there probably win.
I can still do that in theory, because all I need to do is just attack you with Tivit, and you're kinda dead.
But
theory.
with Imposter Mech, I do have a Tivit as a creature.
Okay. True, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I think Imposter Mech was a good choice.
But you get to tutor on your turn. I don't know your hand, Redrick, but if you want to tutor...
I have only 1 card in hand. I can draw 1 more with a clue. You know what I have in my hand?
Mons, do you have something to interact with Yule, provided he tries to do something after this?
Yes, but it's... Here's the problem. I'm kind of falling off. Pontus is starting to climb back up, and Yule is starting to grow like strong from this. Like soon he will start to crack clues and then extort more and more. It's going to be very tricky to actually physically kill him. And if he just draws enough cards, eventually he's going to be able to power out through us somehow.
Correct. My original thinking was to just pop your opposition agent right before my turn, and then I can tutor up. So that's why I'm hesitant to kill you. But then if I killed you, it'd be the same difference, and then Mons could deal with
then I
with me.
Then I will probably speak no more and say do what you want, because that's actually a good consideration as well.
I think the logic is still the same for me. Who knows? But I will take 2 off Walking Ballista and let it die, and send 2 missiles over to you. Yule.
Oh. So a Walking Ballista is shooting big arrows at me.
Go to my turn and take a damage from Mana Bolts. Land for turn is a City of Brass. I will tap it to cast a Rite of Flame, not paying for a stick. Rite of Flame resolves, I'll make 2 red. I'll use 1 red, float a colorless, take 2 damage, cast a Underworld Breach, paying for a stick with a colorless floating. Ledger Shredder can trigger.
Draw a card, discard this Force of Negation.
Breach resolves. I will use my red floating to cast a gamble, not paying for a stick.
I'm gonna draw a card. I'm going to respond by sacrificing one treasure and channel Boseiju, trying to destroy your Undual Breach.
I'll respond to your Boseiju by casting a Deflecting Swat, not paying for a stick. Deflecting Swat resolves, and I'll change the target of Boseiju to... And since I can't make it target monsters things, and Rhetoric doesn't have anything, my highest EV play is to target my own Mana Vault.
All right, we played our outs here. So we will tap these 2 dual lands. I will cast Cyclonic Rift, targeting Underworld Breach. I can't pay for either.
I'll draw from my Rustic. I'll respond to your Psych Rift by tapping 2 mana, casting Snap, targeting Thrasios, I guess. Not paying for Rustic. Snap resolves. I will be untapping my City of Brass and my Otavara. Then I will take a damage to Red Blast the Psych Rift. Not paying for a stick. Red Blast resolves, Psych Rift is countered, and now we have Boseiju targeting my Mana Vault on the stack, which I pass on. Finding a Volcanic Island of the Boseiju, gamble resolves. Finding that card, suppressing no one. Discarding a card randomly. Discarding a Psych Rift. Cast a LED, not paying for a stick. Crack LED for 3 red. Discarding my hand. I'll recast LED, exiling 3 lands. Not paying for a stick. I'll crack it for 3 more red. Then I'll use 1 red, casting a red Elemental Blast, exiling Fish, Wheel, Vamp Tutor, targeting the Rustic Study, not paying for Rustic Study.
Now his Ghost going to cast it again, but he's gonna lose cards from his grave. So, an offer you can't refuse on your red Elemental Blast. I'm actually paying for your Rustic Study, Pontus.
Okay, I'll make 2 treasures, that's countered. I'ma do it again, paying for Rustic this time.
Sure, you have destroyed my Rustic Study.
I'll use 1 red, recast Gamble, exiling Culling of the Weak, Dark Rits, Right of Flame. Gamble resolves. I will entomb a Brain Freeze. I will use a red floating, tap a land, cast a Brain Freeze. All targets targeting me.
So I actually have a very interesting way of potentially interacting with Pontus here. There are problems though, and here I'm gonna explain why they don't work, but they are cool. So I have a Brainstorm in my own hand that I can cast on Pontus. Casting Brainstorm on Pontus will potentially mill out Pontus entirely, if I time it correctly. And here he's gonna mill himself, I will double up and mill him even more. And here's the thing, he has a Crom in play, and after this I can cast another spell and force Pontus to draw a card and he dies, and I've killed him, yay! There's a problem. This is gonna be my second spell, so it won't trigger a Crom. There's another problem. Pontus has a Flusterstorm in his graveyard, so he can cast Flusterstorm and counterspell my Brainstorm completely. I have a way to play around that. I can cast this guy, Teferi something, he has Flash, so I can cast him. But he also prevents my opponents from basically casting spells in instant speed. This means that I can then, after resolving this Teferi, cast my Brain Freeze on Pontus. And now Pontus can't interact with the Flusterstorm in his graveyard to counterspell my Brain Freeze. However, with Teferi still on the stack, Pontus can cast a red Elemental Blast on my Teferi, counterspelling Teferi, and now we're back to the position where Pontus can suddenly interact with the Brain Freeze again. So there are a few super small tiny windows for me to almost stop him, but going through all of the potential ways to actually attempt to stop him, he has ways to solve them. So I got nothing.
So once I've milled from this Brain Freeze, what I'm going to do is I am going to either mill or gamble for a Grand Abolisher. I'll cast a Grand Abolisher, I will kill my Crom, then I will mill myself out completely with Brain Freeze LED, and then I will just cast it as a circle to win the game. Good game. So, did you guys know that Talisman of Progress is indeed not Talisman of Dominance and doesn't produce black?
Yep.
Because, slight skill issue on my part, I didn't know that. I had a turn 2 Nos, I just didn't have black mana because I had this wrong Talisman in hand.
Oh, I see.
So my hand was really busted. I had turn 1 Rustic into turn 2 Nos.
Yeah.
I just slight miscalculation.
I love how I was sitting here and going, I have infinite mana if you guys allow it. And I can draw into my deck and interact with the guy. It's like...
I just want to highlight though, as you see in this game, Control Winter is a hoax. Don't believe the rumors. They're just trying to control you. It's the government, I swear. The birds aren't real.
Pay your
Don't
taxes.
fall for it.
Don't.
Control Winter is fake.
Shut him up.
Help us.
Quiet. You have to respect the state, the government.
No.
Pay your taxes.
Umbral Mantle was in my hand for the Urza Saga trigger, like the turn before, but I didn't want to be scary. But I was like, maybe I should have just done it. But it's kind of one of those games where I was trying to pace it, but unfortunately that like sequencing didn't quite work out. I was like, oh, this is great. And I just added Urza Saga like an hour before. I'm like, why did I have this in my deck? That's like an instant like 12 mana you get with Alena. But
Yeah.
I think Urza Saga is perfect inside that deck, honestly. I just think that the Dreadnought came in one turn too fast from the Urza Saga. You should have tried to time it so that it came into play on the same turn that the Umbral Mantle equipment was already equipped.
well, this outro will be in good old English. Thanks for everybody for playing today and for watching this long game, and we'll see you in the next video.
Hej då!
Ha det bra!
Hej då, ha det fint!
Hejdå.